Yeah, let's move on quickly. Che fare? This is let's make some discussion later together. But I can give some maybe perspective from the north. Yeah, we at the Institute of Network Cultures, we see us as a European network. There's heavy Italian involvement. So some think it's a Italian research center, which is fine for us. But yeah, so there's. Let me start with the invitation. That we want to work with you, and that you are part of the Institute of Network Cultures, and we are part of Reclaim the Tech. So let's start with this. I see this as a European movement, and as a network that was in fact already a network, but you gave it a name and you started it here last year, right? First in Bologna, Napoli, and maybe also soon in other places, because my idea that we should somehow soon write together a manifesto about what is Reclaim the Tech, what is its agenda, its direction, and we will see that a lot of people will join. And there are several reasons why this is the case. Let us start with a somewhat tragic and sad story why this happened, because I think it also grew out of the complete moral bankruptcy of the hacker movement, right? So this is the problem. We have been part of this movement for 40 years, and this movement refused to change. Right? There's a whole rainbow of movements represented here, but it never really worked. Ecology, feminism, anti-racism, anti-colonial struggles, right? But the hacker movement never really got it. And this is also why we have to make this new start. However, this is not a new start, because the networks, the ideas, etc., they have been around, they've been developing also especially in Italy, but also think of other places. There are certain centers, of course, in Europe that are important. Berlin, of course, Barcelona, of course, there's Amsterdam. Now we're here in Bologna. So we have to think of this as an exchange, first of all, as an exchange, but also as a broader movement. Now, what we discussed is that we want to also discuss here, maybe this morning, and also into the General Assembly. Where do we want to take the movement, and also that starts then with the question of what should we, bring together under this umbrella of Reclaim the Tech, right? And so should we take it apart? Should we start to include it? And I want to just make a very few, quick points, observations, where we stand at this moment. Okay, there are. When you look at the agenda you made, or the things you discussed here from Friday and yesterday, today, it's very clear. There are two central points. We don't even have to discuss them because they are already there. Right? One is, of course, the critique of the platform, the critique of the social media. And the wish, the desire somehow, to create alternatives, and we need to the whole world is. I'm telling you, the world is catching up with that. Yeah, very quickly. So if we want to play a role in that agenda, we better be quick, because the discontent, the massive discontent about the social media platforms is spreading, right? And this was not the case when we were running, let's say, our project, which we called Unlike Us, and this was in 2000. 11, 12, 13, right? It's more than a decade ago. We were there, and nothing happened, yeah, in the last 10 years. And this was very frustrating. We had defeat after defeat. We are on the internet and on the smartphones with 5.4 billion people, yeah, daily using, very intense use, 5.4 billion people, yeah. We need to really every day say this to ourselves, yeah. This is an incredible, unprecedented amount, yeah. However, also a substantial amount of people there, you know, are living under, what my work describes. I don't want to summarize it here. You know, the name is very clear: stuck on the platform, right? It also doesn't mean a crisis. No, there is no crisis. We are just stuck, right? And also we are not defeated, no, because that sounds too optimistic. Because after a defeat you can go to the next round and maybe you win. No, there's no next round, right? There's just an incredible amount of stagnation, of regression, of depression. Yeah, so we are not making any progress there. However, I said, the world is catching up. So the amount of people that understand that this is not working is growing very fast. So this kind of agenda point is very clear. How we as Reclaim the Tech are going to, you know, give that more arms and legs, and in a political program is something we can discuss during the General Assembly. Second point, related, is, of course, and it's in the program, you can see it, is the working condition in the platform economy, right? Precarity and so on, right? So this is very clear. Also, I'm not so sure if the world has really caught up with this yet, but you know, this depends very much on the country, and what I can highly recommend you, if you want to really have a thorough global perspective on this, please start to remember and read, not every day because they are not so active, but the website is called Rest of the World. Rest of the World has really dedicated itself to map the worker circumstances and struggles really completely across the globe. And that, of course, means primarily Southeast Asia, right? So because there, yeah, that is the world. You know, the most people in the world live there. And so, yeah, so the struggle is definitely happening there. Also in Latin America, of course. More and more, of course, in Africa. Anyway, so that's why the website is called Rest of the World, right? So this is a clear, you can see there a clear indication of where the struggles around precarity and the platform economy is going. It's a very strong political agenda. And I think so many people here are working on this. We have an enormous amount of experience and insights there, right? So these are the 2 points where we are already quite far. However, you know, can we turn them into a movement, into a political program? This is the question, but we can do that. We're absolutely. Now the question is, how do we grow this beyond these two very obvious things? And then it starts to, when you look at it, I find Reclaim the Tech so interesting because it is putting that question on the table, right? And that question needs to stay on the table. Like, what do we mean with tech, right? Does it include care and reproductive technologies? Does it include, you know, agriculture and the green, you know, technologies? Remember the whole period of COVID, right? And I think there's a lot of, we gave a lot of terrain away because we were not prepared for the conspiracy theories around biotech, pharmatech, etc., right? These are fields that have now been taken over by fascists and extreme right, right? And the same way as a lot of the green tech, you know, is now also part of the fascist and liberal and right-wing agendas. So there's a question there. Is this, you know, do we have to reclaim that field? Is this really, you know? And yes, if we want that, what does that mean? Then, of course, there is, you know, the question that a lot of people from all over the world are asking us is, you know, before you want to reclaim the tech, do we want to deconstruct the tech first? You know, so this is what comes from a lot of non-Western, you know, comrades and movements. Before you start talking about reclaim, you need to decolonize, you need to deconstruct, you need to really ask yourself the question that was discussed by Tiziana and Donatella, the question of ontology, right? So these are the harder, the more fundamental questions. However, they always relate to already existing struggles. It's never just, ontology, okay, sounds a bit complicated, sounds a bit, yeah, let's delegate that to a few philosophers. No, it's not like that, right? We need to, together, think about how this maybe a little bit more abstract idea of tech, how we want to give it some substance, right? But we cannot just presume. We need to first have a reflection also and a deconstruction, I would say. Deconstruct the tech, you know, is something, you know, take apart the tech before you want to reclaim it. So there is that element which is, I think, for the movement is very, very essential, right? But then again, we have to also be self-aware and confident that we're not doing that in some kind of Protestant way of self-punishing ourselves, right? No, we do that because we think it's a very important step to come to the next political agenda, right? So this is we don't do that on some kind of a guilt trip. No. We do that to make a more clear and contemporary analysis together with people from the global south, from everywhere, right? We do that together. Yeah, so these are some of the, you know, ideas I had about a reclaim, and I think we should, you know, start to write a bit more together. So that we can turn this into a political program, and you will see, especially because of the vacuum left by the hacker community that is incapable to act at this moment in time, to act politically, we can do that, and we can step into that vacuum.